Martina Navratilova. Will is doing a special with Martina, and I'd like to add to it. In 1990, Martina had lost to Steffi Graf at Wimbledon. And I had sent a note to the coaching group for Martina with an idea about her serve. And one day they called and said, "We throw a mail like yours away." That's meaning, who am I? I still wonder who I am. But then they said, "Well, we'll meet you." So they were in San Francisco at the San Francisco Tennis Club. I met Billie Jean. Then I met Martina's business advisor. And then we got in. And I was showing her the Whistler, which was this device that would measure angular momentum on a racket. And what I had noticed was that when Steffi was serving, she was rotating her arm across the ball so that when serving wide in the ad court, she could keep Martina honest, because Martina was wanting to sneak in and get a forehand return and approach. But in the deuce court, Martina could not keep Steffi honest because she was coming over the top of the ball, so that it felt to me that Martina's service action was inhibiting her play against Steffi. Well, I thought that the Whistler would measure that. We got into the locker room and I said, "Martina, take a swing, no tennis ball, and every time swing a little faster until finally the Whistler whistles." And sure enough, it whistled at eye level. And I thought that was indication that her racket speed was after the hit, and her racket speed was coming from wrist snap, wrist flexion. And so she agreed to use it, and that we had published that she was using it, but not that she would endorse it. Nuts. And it was the idea that by simply using the device and asking her or you to elevate the swish, you'd have to do it in a different way. And I called that in the graduate project languageless learning. Whether or not that works is another question, but I think what it was really about was that there's different ways to serve. Steffi had a forearm rotation. Martina had a wrist snap. And years later, I ran into Craig Carden down at Indian Wells, and we spoke briefly, and he made a comment that he wasn't sure that Martina ever changed that action. But I think, to me, the fun was that the Whistler, in fact, measured something that I thought it would measure. But the disappointment I had was that they were concerned that if I opened my mouth and tried to indicate to Martina things she could do differently, that I would wreck her serve. And actually, the way to use the Whistler best was to imagine you were throwing a dart in the ceiling, bear with me, and that you were reaching up and screwing a light bulb in the ceiling if you're left-handed, because the right-hander would throw it in the ceiling and unscrew the light bulb. But the art of the serve is how much action you can get at the top of the swing. Not before, not after, at the top of the swing. And that was the little fun project I had with Martina. And if anybody knows her, I would still like to have a cup of coffee with her someday and say hello and shoot the breeze. Martina, thank you.